Hey y'all, so I'm not the most presentable right now. My finger hurts. I'm not the most presentable. I have PJs on and I just redid my hair because it was all falling down and stuff. But I've been putting off / forgetting to do this video like all weekend. Today's Monday, April 27th, and I have some exciting news. Most people probably already know this, especially me. If I'm in the future watching this, then I know already what's coming. But this is going to be the official video explaining what happened and such. For those of you who don't already know that watch my videos. This is exciting. Again, I'm not in the most presentable of things, but that's okay. Also, I have a little bit of sore throat. I don't think it's changing how I talk, but just in case I get some weird look on my face or something, I have a little bit of a sore throat. Anyway, Friday, I got engaged. And I would be like, I got engaged, but no, it's my voice squeaked. But I have no ring on my finger. So what's the deal, Katie? Well, Saturday I went and took the ring in to get resized because it was an 8.5. And it was a little too big. The one that we ordered, like for it to be sized or whatever, is going to be a 6.5. So a little bit of a difference, but I won't get my ring back. Oh, somebody's messaging me. Sorry. Oh, not really messaging me. Sorry. I won't get my ring back. It won't be ready until May 7th, which coincidentally, is that the word? Anyway, May 7th is the date that we're getting married next year. So, for those of you who don't know the story, Friday, and I'll show you a picture right here. That's my ring. My fingers look really fat in the picture, but that's okay. I was just trying to take a quick picture to put on Facebook and stuff, and didn't really have a whole lot of, I don't know, professional stuff. But we are going to get some engagement pictures or photos, whatever you want to call them. Okay, so what happened? I worked Friday, and I got off at like 6 something maybe, and Brett was planning on coming here to hang out, and so I got off work, and I texted him a little before I got off work, and then after work, that's probably the same thing. After I got off work, I went to Walmart, and then came back here, and by that time, it was about the time that Brett should be getting in town, from his house. It had been about 50 minutes or whatever. So he called me. Well, I texted him to say I was home and asked if he was almost here, and like almost right after that, he called me and said that he was on Route 4, and he had been doing a bunch of running because he had gone. He didn't work on Friday, but he went to Delaware and like home and stuff, and had done a lot of driving. So he said from all that driving and then driving here, he ran out of gas because he hadn't paid attention to how much he had been driving, which is a totally legit thing. You'd think he would pay more attention to gas, which he did, but it's a totally legit explanation because he had been running everywhere and probably could have not thought of it. But anyway, he said he was out of gas, and asked, well, I didn't really ask if I could pick him up, but I was like, so you want me to pick you up? And he's like, yeah, if you could. So anyway, I went and met him on the road drove to the road where he would come into town. It's called Route 4. So I went to that road, and he was like, I'm parked on the right side. And I asked him, because I was talking to him on the phone, I was like, so would that be my left? Because he would have come from the other direction, and his right would have been my left if I was coming from the direction I was coming from. I'd be heading outside of town, so his right coming into town would be my left. Anyway, he's like, no, it's your right. And so that was the first thing that kind of confused me. I was trying to figure out why he would go across the opposite road of traffic, the opposite lane of traffic, to park on the right side of the road, his left side of the road. That was kind of confusing, but I was like, whatever, maybe there's an explanation for that. So he was like, okay, well, make sure you look really hard for my car. Make sure you look really hard for me. So I was looking to the right, Kept looking, didn't see any. I was looking for, he has like a bright blue car. I was looking on the right for like a bright blue car, didn't see it. I didn't pay attention to anything else, but I didn't see a bright blue car, and I kept going, and okay, and I was like, okay, I'm not seeing your car. Are you sure you're right here? I don't see you. He's like, look really close, and I got to this light, which he originally told me if I get to the light, I've gone too far, or if I go past the light or something. He's like, well, go ahead and turn right at the light. And I was like, but I thought you were along Route 4. He's like, oh, I moved. That was the second thing. I was like, how can you move if you're out of gas? Your car can't move if you're out of gas. That's why he was having me pick him up, because he was out of gas, and his car won't drive. You know how it is when you're out of gas. Yeah. Anyway, so I turned down there, and the road that I turned down is called County Home Road, which leads to a soccer field where my nieces and nephews have soccer and stuff, and also where we had our second date, or where we went for a second date after we ate, which is also the day that he asked me to be his girlfriend. And we like kicked a soccer ball back and forth and stuff when we were there, and then sat and talked. So anyway, as I was heading down that road, I was starting to get a little suspicious. Because for one thing, he was having me look on the right side of the road when he was going the opposite direction. And then he had me turn down that, what was the second thing? Oh, he had me turn down that road when he said he moved and stuff, and he couldn't move his car, was out of gas. Kept going, didn't see his car, and I was like, okay, there's either something going on, or I don't know how he'd move his car clear out here. But I knew I was headed toward that park, and so, or the soccer field, so I knew something, or I had a feeling something was up. I didn't know, but I had a feeling. And he was like, oh, and there's a sign pointing into the soccer field, and I'm like, okay, if you put a sign up, he wouldn't put a sign up, have a sign ready to put up if it was just him out of gas, which all of the other things apply too. But if those didn't apply, that's one more reason why it made me suspicious. So I pulled in there, I saw his car. There were people there parked and stuff over by the soccer fields, and he was parked a little bit away from them, kind of where we had kicked the soccer ball back and forth, but not quite as far over. So anyway, I went over there, saw his car, and I saw him standing with a white shirt, and I don't know if it was probably jeans. I don't really remember the pants he was wearing, but he was wearing a white shirt. And there was a sign, as I pulled in next to his car, there was a sign in the grass that said, stand here. Next to that sign was this ball. That's upside down, but that's okay. Next to the sign was this ball that said yes. And so I'm like, yeah. Oh. Well, that's what I'm thinking in my head, but out loud I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And then I thought, oh, my video camera, which was in here, under this pillow right here. I didn't have my video camera with me. So I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And I was like, okay, do I just go over and stand next to the sign? He's like, well, what does the sign say? So I went over there and stood next to the sign. He was standing a little bit away. He wasn't standing right at the sign. And he kicked this, he had a ball next to him, kicked it to me, and it said this: will you marry me? So I was like, well, do I just kick it back? Referring to this, but I didn't really point to it. I was like, so do I just kick it back? And he was like, do whatever, or something like that. And so I kicked this ball back, which this is the yes ball. It's to be noted there wasn't a no ball, but I kicked the yes ball back, and then he walked over and got on one knee and proposed with the ring, and then I took it out and he put it on my finger, and he picked me up and we twirled, and it was fun. I love him. And he also explained, well, we came back here, well, I called my mom on the way back here and called my sister, and then I called Allison, which is my cousin that just got married, and we were like best friends when we were little. Yeah, so I called them, and then long story short, we put it on Facebook, and a bajillion likes and comments later. It's Monday. But anyway, on Tuesday we went to get Saturday we went and got the ring sized. He also was telling me, this might be a one take, it'll probably be one take. He also told me how his brother, he was talking about how he's going to propose and stuff to his family, because he had told his family from, like, he got the ring last Tuesday, and he was telling his family how he was going to propose. I think he was originally going to do it Saturday, but the weather ended up being nicer Friday, so he was like, so he figured he'd do it then, since it'd be warmer out. And his brother asked, like, why is there not a no ball? What if she says no? And so Brett made up this little flowchart, marriage proposal flowchart, to explain why there was not a no ball. So it says, will you marry me? And there's the two options. In case you can't understand the flowchart, I will explain it. Obviously, will you marry? If I say yes, then I say yes, and that's awesome and stuff. If I say no, it goes down to no, and it just loops back up to the question again, over and over and over until the correct answer is given. Obviously, he gave me a copy of this chart, which I'm putting in. I had until just now in that folder over there that I'm keeping stuff from him and other people, like cards and stuff in. So that's the story, and so I'm engaged now, and I have the fiance, and I love him so much. He sent me a text today when he went on lunch. I was still working, but he's on a summer schedule, so he works longer hours, so he goes on lunch earlier or something. Or it might not even be because of the hours. I don't know. Whatever the case, he's been going on lunch earlier. So anyway, he went on lunch and he was like, "How's work, my beautiful fiance?" And I was like, "Oh, I love you." I love him so much. So we've already made out what it's probably going to be our guest list. It might be narrowed down a little bit, maybe. So sorry for anybody that might get taken off. But we have a guest list. We have a possible venue. We of course have the wedding date, which has been planned for forever. We have an idea for what we want to do for the food at the wedding. We have our first dance picked out. Faux show, which is our song. He officially said it out loud that it's our song. Yes, I'm dumb. I'm not dumb. I'm giddy. That's the word. Yep. Okay. Anyway, I wanted to tell you guys the story and all that jazz. And I'm sorry I haven't seen you all weekend or forever. I kept meaning to vlog and tell you the story. I was going to tell you on Saturday on the way there, and I totally forgot. And then on the way back, and I totally forgot to Marion. And yeah, so that happened. But I will try. I don't even want to give you say I'm going to try to anymore, but I will try to vlog more. A lady called me out yesterday in Kenton when we went there for supper. She's like, "You didn't vlog at all," and I'm like, somebody else is calling me out. I like this, but I didn't vlog. Anyway, that's the story. I need to, if I can show it from before, but I want to do a little, what do you call it? A screenshot? Nope. Something like that. The picture for my video. That's gonna be my picture for the video. I can't think of what it's called. Okay, I'm gonna watch some videos and have some crackers and butter because it's tasty. And I didn't get a Mountain Dew. Why did I not get a Mountain Dew? Okay, I'll see you guys later.